Ready? Okay. So now there's a little story about football, because we're British, and so in the London Centre, I mentioned that we used to have like these joy days with the British disciples, and sometimes the Swiss or maybe the Italians would come over. And part of our joy day was always that on a Sunday we would have a football game. And it was usually quite a competitive thing, as football games in Europe are. And in fact, one year, usually they were very, very close, but one year I remember that Kailash brought this one disciple from Zurich that was actually Brazilian. So we felt like, he was almost like a professional. And of course, the Europeans beat the British a little bit easier than usual. But then, I don't know the exact background story of the whole thing, but one time when Guru was over in the UK and he was in Scotland, the Scottish disciples sort of talked to him about like if we could have like our British team could be his team. And so Guru gave us the name Chinmoy Lions. Voila. Okay, and so this became like this big thing. Then we, whenever we would play games, not just on joy days, we would also arrange games with other spiritual groups. Sometimes in London and sometimes in Glasgow. But then we in New York during, I don't know, either during April celebrations or August celebrations, it'd always be a games day. And so now they had like this team, this was Guru's team, Chinmoy Lions, and so we would always have a soccer tournament, a football tournament. Soccer tournament is American. And so usually it would be there would be 4 teams, 3 other teams besides us. Maybe a California team, a Connecticut team, a New York team, and Chinmoy Lions. And so there'd be basically a semi-final and a final. And when it was our turn to play as Chinmoy Lions, Guru would always immediately be there, cheering us on and getting all the disciples. I mean, it was like a big, big cheering section. And it was really hard for the Americans. They didn't play that well, not so many of them. 1 or 2 people did, but we would win the games fairly easily. And then Guru would give us like prizes, and he'd be really, really happy, and he'd praise us like anything. And then for quite a few years, there was no tournaments on games day, football anyway. And then when I was now living in New York, probably in the 1990s, Guru decided he wanted to have a football game near Jamaica High School. And it would be his team against an American team. And Guru would actually play on the team. So this was pretty exciting, actually. And I remember we were all in the field, and there were like disciples all around the actual soccer field itself, cheering and watching the game. And the way that it was set up was that I was sort of playing like kind of right half. Guru was playing right wing. And no matter who kicked the ball off, whether it was the Americans kicked the ball off or we kicked it off, the ball would always be then passed to me. And then I would start to run forward or to like the halfway line, and Guru would run close towards the goal, and then I would pass the ball to Guru. Guru would like dust the ball a little bit, dribble a little bit, and then shoot the ball towards the goal. Usually almost always easily on target. And Rapanto, he was playing goal, he would not dive that well to try and save it, and every time, of course, Guru would score. And then again the ball would come back to be kicked off, and ultimately the ball would come to me, and then the ball would go to Guru, and they score again. And Guru scored, I think we won something like 10-0. But everybody just had so much fun. Even the American team were not disappointed that because you could see that Guru was really, really enjoying himself. And then that evening, we had a function at Progress Promise, and Guru asked the European team to come up. And we all stood with Guru, and he meditated for a few moments, and then he started to point to each player. And he would say either excellent or super excellent. And of course, because since I was the one that was always passing him the ball to score, I became super excellent. So that was kind of our experience of because Guru, I think in the ashram, Guru also played football. So it was a game that he really enjoyed, and it was a great opportunity for him to share, I think, some of his joy and happiness with the disciples.